Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. A nice happy David67 despite the rather cold and wet and snowy sleety weather that we're currently having in Scotland. And Celtic, as the title of the video says, bounce back to business as usual. 13 points clear after, as I thought was quite predictable, Rangers flopped Hibs blowing a 2-0 lead. And for me, from the wee bits of the game I've seen, we're quite lucky to end up at 3-3. However, enough of our cross-city rivals. They now 13 points behind us. Our goal difference is massively better than theirs. And for me, as I said in the title, it's business as usual. We're going to have a wee look at the goals, a wee look at the stats, my own personal ratings for the players, and one or two wee quick updates on transfers and contracts, etc. And one or two wee thoughts of the game yesterday at Celtic Park. Before we do crack on the video, just as usual, just a wee suggestion, encouragement for those not yet subscribed to the channel. Please do click that subscriber button, keep the numbers going up and up and up. If you do have friends, family, other Celtic fans and football fans, do pass on the details of the channel, see if they want to subscribe as well. If you like the video, do click that like button. It does help with analytics and spreading the channel and spreading Celtic football to more and more folk on YouTube. And do pop your own thoughts regarding yesterday's performance, your own personal ratings and thoughts, and any other Celtic issues at the moment. Try to keep things, if you can, pleasant, polite, respectful, etc. Celtic got back on their winning ways, back to business as usual. Nice 3-0 win over St Mirren yesterday afternoon. Wee bit of a slow start. Crowd starting to get a wee bit nervous, which is expectable. I think it's entirely reasonable for the crowd to show some signs of nerves, especially after such an awful position and performance against Rangers on Thursday the 2nd. Rodgers rather critical of the crowd, which I think is rather unfair, also implying that the crowd don't understand football and don't know football. I think, as Rodgers said himself, a backward pass is not necessarily a backward negative thing, because sometimes a backward pass gives you the opportunity to change the point of attack and get the ball forward. However, unlike the game against Rangers, when so many backward passes and sideward passes were just getting Celtic deeper and deeper into their own territory and deeper into pressure, not getting the ball forward. Yesterday, after I think a wee bit of a nervy start, Celtic's backward passes and sideward passes actually started to get the ball moving forward out wide, and also, unlike the game against Rangers, Callum McGregor and the midfielders were able to look forwards much better, get their face facing the opposition goal rather than facing their own goal, and thus got Celtic moving forward, got the ball out wide to Maeda and Kuhn, and got the ball into the box. What also struck me, in contrast to the game against Rangers, was the number of Celtic players getting themselves into the box. Quite often, Dyson Maeda and Nicholas Kuhn were swapping wings. Nicholas Kuhn coming in as a second forward to come to partner Adam Ida. The two of them are also swapping positions. And I thought it was quite remarkable, particularly for the third goal. Celtic had 5 players in the box in scoring positions as Nicholas Kuhn tapped in the third goal. And it did strike me that Celtic were able to get the ball forward much better, out wide much better, and the midfielders were coming forward to support the strikers, the 2 wide players coming in to make it 2 or 3 attackers in the box on a regular basis, and also, as I said, Ida, Kuhn and Maeda all swapping positions, which created problems for the St Mirren defenders. So looking at the goals, after that slightly nervy start, McGregor and McCowan working nicely together in midfield, got the ball forward, lovely ball to Dyson Maeda, used his pace to outstrip the St Mirren defence, lovely ball across the box. Nicholas Kuhn already nice and central, having cut in off his wing early, and then swept the ball in and under Hemmings, the St Mirren goalkeeper, 1-0 up. In 34 minutes, 9 minutes later, Celtic won a corner. Arnie Engels' lovely front post curling cross. Austin Trusty moving into the space created by Adam Ida's clever run and nodded the ball across the goalkeeper to the far corner. 2-0 up at half time. Celtic kept up the good work in the second half. A few half chances in the box. Adam Ida had a chance early on and in both the first and second halves, plus a disallowed goal later on. And then later, Kuhn, nice breakaway. Goalkeeper makes a good save. Celtic quickly recycle the ball. Lovely ball over the top by McGregor. Breaks to Arnie Engels. Back heels it across the box. Wee bit of a fumble by Hemmings, the goalkeeper. And Nicholas Kuhn very calmly created a wee bit of space and then tapped it into the box. 3-0 up, as I said. Shortly after, Ida had a goal correctly disallowed for offside. A couple more half chances, including a half chance late on for Kyogo. 3-0 up. In the post-match press conference, Brendan Rodgers rather grumpy, critical of the crowd, which I think is a bit unfair. I think I am all for the crowd cheering and supporting the players, cheering and supporting Celtic, particularly when they're under pressure. However, I think they are allowed to get a wee bit nervous. And Rodgers saying, trust the players, trust the manager, trust the tactics. Well, the players, the manager, the coaches, the tactics against Rangers completely failed. And it didn't look like Celtic were quite getting back onto the right page, into the right flow. But after half an hour or so, Celtic did very much get back into their usual flow and got on top of the game. I suspect that in the aftermath of the Rangers thumping, Rodgers has been probably under quite a lot of pressure, feeling the glare of the press, the anger and disappointment of the fans after that result. And hopefully, as I said, it's a one-off and things go back to the usual post-match and pre-match press conferences, etc. And the crowd, the fans, the players, the coaches, the manager all get on the same page and support Celtic, which for me is the most important thing. Looking at the stats, Celtic massively dominated possession as usual. Possession was 75 Celtic, 25 St Mirren. Shots, 11 for Celtic, 6 for St Mirren. Celtic had 6 on targets to 1 by St Mirren, 4 off targets for Celtic, 1 off target by St Mirren. Celtic had 1 shot blocked. St Mirren had 4 of their shots blocked, so good defending from our back 2 and back 4. Corners were 8-3 for Celtic. Saves were 3 by Hemmings of St Mirren, 1 by Kasper Schmeichel late on, recovering after a mistake by Carter Vickers. Also, what was quite a contrast between the Rangers match and the St Mirren match, Celtic's passing accuracy massively improved. We had more forward passes by far in the St Mirren match than we did against Rangers. We actually had a few more backward passes this time against St Mirren than we had against Rangers. However, as I said, we got the ball forward much more statistically, and accuracy massively improved. What was more important was also the defence did much better clearing the ball, much better winning the duels, much better heading the ball clear when the ball was going into and around the box. And final third, accuracy of ball also massively improved in this game compared to the Rangers game. So it does look like Celtic changed and improved quite a lot of things that were deficient against Rangers. I think also the introduction of Trusty at centre-back to replace Scales improved things quite considerably. And I think Engels and McGregor getting closer back to normal form also improved passing accuracy and getting the ball forward. Looking at my own personal ratings, given 7 for Kasper Schmeichel, thought he was much better at his distribution, got the defence better organised, made a lovely save late on to keep Celtic clean sheet. So 7 for Kasper Schmeichel, 7.5 for Alistair Johnston, I thought he had a good game defensively, got himself forward, broke into the box on several occasions, overlapped to get crosses and passes into the box. So 7.5 for him. 7.5 for Austin Trusty. Good defensive display, cleared the ball well, worked well with Cameron Carter-Vickers. Rarely did the two of them get beaten. And Trusty, of course, scored his first Celtic goal, so 7.5 for him. 7 for Cameron Carter-Vickers. Would have been 7.5 was it not for that late error that nearly let a St Mirren striker through to score. So dropping him to 7. 7 for Greg Taylor. I thought he did a fine job defensively. Got the ball forward, got into the midfield. Not quite so productive or as forward thinking as Johnson. So 7 for him. 7 for Callum McGregor. Nice wee job in midfield controlling things. A few nice passes, including that lovely ball over the top that led to the third goal. 8 for Arnie Engels. I thought he had a good game. Lots of creation. His cross from the corner got us to the second goal. His back heel, a large part in setting up the third goal. A couple of nice balls into the box, including the one for the Ida disallowed goal. 6 for Luke McCown, a bit disappointed in Luke McCown. A couple of nice touches, but otherwise fairly anonymous. 9 and man of the match for Nicholas Kuhn, back to his usual self. Scored a couple of goals, looked very threatening throughout the game. So 9 for him. 8.5 for Dyson Maida, much the same. Had a couple of great runs, set up the first goal for Kuhn. A couple of breaks into the box later on to create chances for others, and a few times in the box getting a chance to score. So 8.5 for him. Great to see him back to his usual. 7 for Ad Maeda. I thought good game for Maeda. Nearly scored early on with a header. Did score a disallowed goal later on. Half chance at the start of the second half. And so 7 for him. And finally for the subs. Rodgers made his substitutions fairly late. However, I do think that both Hatate and Yang had enough time on the pitch to have a good fair rating. Given 6 for Yang. Again, he was, I thought, rather disappointing. Coming on to replace Kuhn. Didn't really see Yang do terribly much effective in his time on the pitch. So 6 for him. 6.5 for Hatate. I thought he looked a wee bit brighter. I think the greater space and less pressure of St Mirren late in the game allowed him a wee bit more time to get his head up and get the ball through midfield towards the front player. So 6.5 for him. To be fair, I don't think Luis Palma and Kyogo had really enough time to have a fair rating. They only got 7 minutes plus a bit of added time at the end of the game. However, have given Kyogo 6.5. Looked nice and bright coming on late on. Did have that half chance with a header that evaded the far post, and given 6 for Luis Palma. Don't think he really had enough time to influence the game or do anything terribly creative, but didn't make any mistakes. So basic average 6 out of 10 for Luis Palma. Now, you may have your own thoughts regarding your own ratings for the players. For me, man of the match, clearly Nicholas Kuhn, close behind Maeda and Engels, with honourable mentions for the back five, all of whom I thought played well and defended much better than the team did against Rangers, and what's more, got the ball forward and started to get into midfield and beyond, unlike the game against Rangers. Looking at wee bits of news, stories are that Stephen Welsh is currently now in Belgium signing final loan deal contracts with Mechelen, and so that deal should go through, I would guess, in the next 24 hours. Still waiting for final confirmation of Alessandro Bernabe's transfer to Internacional. I would guess that's also going to get announced over the next day or two. Fee thought to be somewhere around £5 million, and so Celtic making well over £1 million profit on Bernabe. Stories are that Celtic have turned down several bids for Luis Palma, and Rodgers is keen to keep Luis Palma through the rest of the winter window, keeping him available for the spell from January to May, and then looking again at which of the backup wide players, Tilio, Yang, Forrest and Palmer kept on for the 25-26 season. I think the number of top-level clubs after Luis Palma actually shows that many other big European teams and American teams think he is actually a very good player. And for me, it's a wee bit encouraging that Rodgers is keeping Palma, especially with Forrest being out injured and Yang not really taking his chance to push himself forward in the rankings. And personally, I would like to see Luis Palma being the player coming off the bench from now on as the change for Kuhn or Maeda, as Yang really is not showing any signs of progress. And I think, given Luis Palma's form and output in the first half of last season and his good pre-season performances too, I think he deserves a chance now, especially as he also, so the stories go, is keen to stay at Celtic and fight for his place. And so I think that should be rewarded by Brendan Rodgers, especially if Celtic are turning down bids for Palma at Rodgers' request. No further progress on Kieran Tierney coming to Celtic, although a lot of the indications are that that should go through nice and soon. But I think the final details are all being thrashed out. And I think at the very least, what we'll see is Tierney coming to Celtic on a freedom of contract at massively reduced wages in the summer of 2025. What happens between now and then regarding loan deals, transfers, etc. I think that's the bit that's up for negotiations. The stories of Jota coming to Celtic, that seems to have died away. We'll see whether that rekindles, and also a lot of stories suggesting that following storming up the tunnel, not doing any kind of lap of honour, Greg Taylor and his agent are pushing for the move to Dinamo Zagreb again more forcefully. We'll see whether those rumours and stories are true or not. That just about finishes things off for today's video. Celtic next play against Dundee United on Wednesday. That'll be an evening time kickoff. I suspect that Celtic will keep the core of this side that beat St Mirren 3-0 on Sunday. Maybe make a wee change up front with Kyogo rather than Ida. Maybe bringing in Hatate or Perla Bernardo to replace Luke McCowan. Maybe giving Alex Valley a wee go at left back, especially if Taylor and his agent are agitating again for the move to Zagreb to be sooner rather than later. We'll see how that all transpires over the next couple of days and in the pre-match press conference. So until the next video, goodbye and hail, hail.